Hi everyone, how are you guys doing? I hope that you all are fine. Today we will be having pronouns, but first of all, you have to log in using the aplusstudent.com. Click on your name, go to language arts, grade 8, pronouns, and we have two lessons from pronouns that we will take today, which is choose between subject and object pronoun, identify pronouns and their antecedents. Okay, so you can use a subject pronoun as the subject of a sentence or clause. So, subject pronouns as the subject of a sentence. Okay, so it is used as the subject of a sentence. It tells what the subject is doing or who's doing something in the sentence. Okay, that's what it tells us. It tells us who is doing something, and it is usually at the beginning of the sentence. So when you have subject pronoun is at the beginning, it's not at the ending or anything. It is at the beginning of the sentence. So it's usually starting the sentence. Okay. So you can also use a subject pronoun after a linking verb. So you could use subject pronoun after linking verb like am, is, are, was, were, and the rest of them. So we have linking verbs and okay, so these linking verbs can be used after a subject pronoun. The subject pronoun I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. Okay, so these are the subject pronouns I, you, he, she, it, we, they. So all these are subject pronouns, and then we have linking verbs like is, are, was, were, be. Okay, so this is how the subject pronoun goes. For example, we have after finishing the experiment, I showed my teacher the results. Okay, so in this situation, the subject pronoun I is the subject of the sentence. So you see that I didn't start it, but then it's starting like this part of the sentence. So the remaining sentence at the ending, I is starting it. Then yes, it was she who won first place. Okay, so we have another example. Yes, it was she who won first place. Now words here. The subject pronoun she is used after a linking verb. So we have she used after a linking verb was. Okay, so that's how it can come as well. So all these for like the subject pronouns. Okay. So, hi, how are you doing? I hope you're doing fine. So, we have some examples for the subject pronoun. We could have I like reading. So we have he is playing football. So he here is the subject, is the linking verb. Then we have I as the subject. I like reading books. So all these are subject pronouns, sentences using subject pronouns, okay? So we have also you can use an object pronoun after an action verb. So, action verb, and then we can use object pronoun after. You can also use an object pronoun after preposition. So, after action verb, preposition also. So these are different ways that you can use object pronoun. So after prepositions like at, for, of, on, to, with. So all these prepositions. The object pronouns are me, you, him, her, it, us, them. So now the difference with the object pronoun and the subject pronoun is that the subject pronoun usually starts the sentence, but the object pronoun does not start the sentence. Usually it's like in between the sentence, right in the middle. It's not at the beginning. So it usually comes like after action verb or even prepositions. So that's why we have an example like this. After finishing the experiment, my teacher showed me the result. So the object pronoun is me, used after an action verb should. So you can see that the object pronoun does not start the sentence. It's usually like at the ending or in the middle of the sentence. So we also have the teacher showed the result to me. So the teacher showed the result to me. Now the object pronoun me is used after a preposition too. So that's why it said that object pronouns can come after action verb showed, or it can come after preposition. Okay. Okay, so moving on. This is it for like the subject pronoun and the object pronoun. It's just the basics. So let's move on to the second lesson, which is identify pronouns and their antecedents. So yeah. So, what is a pronoun? A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun or noun phrase. So it usually takes the place of the noun. Okay, so usually the pronoun takes the place of a noun or noun phrase. The noun or noun phrase that the pronoun refers to is called the antecedent. So you have to take note that the noun or the noun phrase that the pronoun is referring to is usually called the antecedent. Now, Rachel is tired even though she slept for 10 hours last night. So Rachel is tired even though she slept for 10 hours last night. Now, the noun is Rachel. The noun Rachel is the antecedent of the pronoun she. So she here, okay, this is she, and the name Rachel is the antecedent of the pronoun she. So remember that it says that the noun or noun phrase that the pronoun refers to is called the antecedent. All right. Apparently, Tom and Sarah just landed. Who is picking them up? Now, the noun phrase is Tom and Sarah. Okay, so the noun phrase is Tom and Sarah is the antecedent of the pronoun them. So, pronoun them, and then usually the names are like the antecedents. So we have surprisingly, my brother's basketball team won all of its games this season. Okay, so the noun phrase my brother's basketball team is the antecedent of the pronoun it. So look at the it here, and then my brother's. Taking care of pets can be difficult, but it is quite worthwhile. The noun phrase taking care of pets is the antecedent of the pronoun it. So that's how it comes. It comes with the antecedent and also the pronoun. Okay? So you just have to take note of the noun phrases, and you also have to note the antecedent, the pronouns, the noun. All of it is important in the sentence. Okay? So let's move on. So we'll start with the first lesson, which is choose between the subject and the object pronoun. So we're doing the first two today. So we have select the correct pronoun to complete the sentence. Dash visited several cathedrals and museums while in Toronto. So you need to find the subject, okay? It just says visited. So we do not know who visited. So it could be I visited several cathedrals. Of course, I is a subject pronoun. So I will be good also because we have I, you, he, she, it's, we, they. Okay? So you can say I visited several cathedrals and museums while in Toronto. Okay? So we have while the Richmonds are traveling, Dash have asked Ava to care for their dog. So what would be the right subject pronoun here? We have while the Richmonds are traveling, they've asked Ava to care for their dog. So they, that's the subject pronoun. Are you absolutely certain that it was dash? So this is what complete the pronoun. Okay, so she is the right subject pronoun there. So it says, are you absolutely certain that it was she? Okay, so let's move to the test. So if you're here, you can participate. You can send in your answers to the questions, okay? So select the correct pronoun to complete the sentence. Everyone in the history class had read the document except for, so you have to choose the right pronoun. So you can share your answers if you're here. So what do you think is the right pronoun here? You can share your answers if you're here. So let's just participate. So, except for him. So, the toddler wobbled toward Dash with his arms waving to the air. So, wobbled toward her or she. What is the right pronoun here? So toward her, okay. So we have I always rinse the dishes before I put dash in the dishwasher. So put them or put they. Which one is the right one? So I put them in the dishwasher. So we have Bob sat with Dash during the department meeting. With us or with we? Which one is the right answer here? Okay, sat with us. Is Diana going to the comic book convention without I or without me? What do you think? Which is the right one? So without me, object pronoun. Are you absolutely certain that it was she or it was her? Which one? That it was her. While the Richmonds are traveling, Dash have asked Aver to care for their dog. Them or they? Which one? Okay, they have asked Aver to care for their dog. They. The noise from the construction site distracted Dash from my homework. So I or me. So distracted me from my homework. When we gave Nathan a comic book for his birthday, he thanked what? We or us? So he thanked us. That visited several cathedrals and museums while in Toronto. So is it I or me? Which one? So I visited. So that's it for like the first lesson. You can just tell me if you have any question concerning the first lesson before we move on to the second one, which was identify pronoun and its antecedent. Okay, and their antecedent. So before we start, do you have any questions you can ask? Okay, since no questions, we will start with this one. Select the pronoun whose antecedent is energy. So in physics, we learned that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. So what is the pronoun? So in physics, it's here, okay? So yeah, pronoun is it. When my sister and I were traveling in Mexico, we explored the ancient ruins at the Teotihuacans. Select the pronoun whose antecedent is my sister and I. So the pronoun will be we. Oprah Winfrey used the success of her career as a television talk show host to launch a magazine and a television network. So select the pronoun whose antecedent is Oprah Winfrey. So we have her. Okay, so let's move on to the test. Okay, some people believe that the seasons are caused by the Earth's distance from the sun, but they aren't. Earth tilts, not the distance from the sun, determine the season. Select the pronoun whose antecedent is the season. So what is this one? Day. Okay. So select the pronoun whose antecedent is tobacco. So in the 1700s, tobacco was so valuable that it was used as currency in many American colonies. So what is this one? So it's schooners were once the most important ships in North America, but by 1800s they were only really used for coastal trade and fishing. What's the right one here? So it got to be day. So we have the Constitution were written in in 1787, and its first 10 amendments were added in 1791 to describe individuals' rights in detail. So select the pronoun whose antecedent is the Constitution. Okay, it's this one. It's So, Oprah Winfrey used the success of her career as a television talk show host to launch a magazine and a television network. So, select the pronoun whose antecedent is Oprah Winfrey. Okay, so her. All right. In physics, we learned that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. So, which one? So eats. When my sister and I were traveling in Mexico, we explored the ancient ruins of the Teotihuacans, which is the right antecedents. So yeah, that's it for this lesson. You can complete the remaining questions. Okay. So we still have a lot more lessons here on the pronouns. We will do that in our next class also. We'll take them step by step until we are done. Let me know on the chat if you have any questions before we finish today. Do you have any questions? All right, so if you have no questions, we'll end here for today. I hope that you all have a good night. Until next time. Bye.